Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Euroman Movie Report. This week I'm going to talk about Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy I saw the first time in the Marvel animated series Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which ran on television from 2011 to 2012, and there was an episode where the Avengers met the Guardians of the Galaxy. We had Star-Lord, Groot, and the Raccoon, and what was it? The chick with the green skin, and they were part of something called the Nova Corps, and they hunted threats to security in the universe, a bit like, as they say in that episode, Space Avengers. And ever since seeing that episode, I must say it was quite interesting to see how these characters could be rendered into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And when I heard that Marvel, together with Disney, had decided to put the Guardians of the Galaxy in a full-length feature movie on the big screen, live action, I was very excited to see the end result. And I must say, unlike the other Marvel movies which we have been treated to in theaters from 2008 to until now, the Guardians of the Galaxy movie was very different because it relied very much on satire, unlike the other Marvel movies, and that was somewhat fresh in my opinion, and I liked it. In the lead role we have, of course, Chris Pratt playing Peter Quill. And in the beginning of the film, we see young Peter Quill and his mother. It's in 1989, and young Peter Quill is sitting with his orange headset on, listening to his Walkman, his tape Walkman. And then his mum, she dies of cancer. And then young Peter Quill runs out of the hospital. He's crying, and then suddenly he kneels down in this grass field, and then suddenly a spaceship, an alien spaceship, appears and transports him up, and then the scene shifts to 26 years later when we have adult Peter Quill having become sort of a space scavenger pirate type of character, and he is looking for this ball, and then he runs into soldiers from the Kree Empire, and they want that ball, and it results in a fight, and he gets away, and we of course learn that his character is somewhat of a ladies' man, and that is something which is featured all through the movie. And then we have him meeting the green-skinned chick, played by Zoe Saldana, from Star Trek. And she is originally sent there to retrieve that ball, but she has her own motives. And then we meet, of course, the two other main characters from the Guardians of the Galaxy, Groot the Tree, voiced by Vin Diesel, who only has one line. He says, "I am Groot." And then we have, of course, Rocket Raccoon, voiced by Bradley Cooper. And the Rocket Raccoon character, you can really see how far computer animation has reached, since it looked somewhat realistic, if you can ever claim that a walking, talking raccoon is realistic, but the way the Rocket Raccoon was rendered, it looked quite good. And then we had Dax, the Destroyer, some big muscle guy character with grey skin and some red tattoos all over his body. And they, of course, these characters, they make up Guardians of the Galaxy. And I must say, it was an okay movie, because it was, as I said earlier, an untraditional Marvel film, because it relied very much on satire, And the acting in general, for instance, Chris Pratt's acting, it was not over the top. It was okay, and of course next time we're gonna see Chris Pratt is of course in Jurassic Park 4, Jurassic Park World, Jurassic World, which arrives in theaters next year, and it will be interesting to see how his character is in that Jurassic Park movie, if he's going to be a bit like Peter Quill in that character, relying on this attitude that we saw in this film, but I don't know. Of course, we have different characters, but we will see at that time. And so Saldana, I must say, even with green skin, she looks sexy. So that was great. And the voice by Bradley Cooper of Rocket Raccoon, he did a good job as well. And the Groot character, it was fun to see that character finally in a live rendition, and it was quite fun. And a very interesting fact is, of course, that we had back in 1999 when that other DreamWorks feature, what was it called? The Iron Giant. Was released, an animated feature which featured Vin Diesel voicing the giant robot, and it was like seeing something out of the past, because that character, that robot also had very few lines, so it was a bit like seeing that all over again. And it of course it had the story where we saw something more of the Kree Empire, and we were featured to a scene with the master villain of the Marvel Universe, Thanos, the guy who wants to have these pearls, which can allow him to control the elements and destroy the universe. The Infinity Gauntlet, that was the Infinity Gauntlet, and it was interesting to see Thanos on the big screen, and it will be interesting, of course, and we must not forget Ronan the Accuser. And what I didn't get about this movie is, if you have seen the Marvel animated series, and of course I know there's a difference between Marvel the animated series and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because some of the elements from the Marvel comics are left out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because the rights are leased out to other companies. But if my memory serves me correctly, then Ronan the Accuser is part of the Kree hierarchy. And there's a scene where an ambassador from the Kree Empire is discussing with Glenn Close, and Glenn Close, he of course has a small role in this film, that that the Kree are not responsible for Ronan, and that differs from what we saw in the other the previously mentioned series, because in that series Ronan was somewhat of a subservient to the Kree Emperor and a part of the Kree military hierarchy, and it was like he was just a terrorist here acting on his own. So that was a bit weird in my opinion. But besides that, okay acting, a good story, even I'll call it a heartwarming story, because it was about, in some aspects, about Peter Quill not letting go of the past, of his past life, and the feature of his old disc, tape Walkman. It was like his connection to the past, his connection to his mother, and it was interesting to see that level of deep thought in a Marvel movie. So all in all, if I'm gonna rate this film, I will give it 4 out of 5 Coca-Cola bottles. That's it, Euroman of Euroman's Movie Report. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this review, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to watch any of my other previous reviews, then click in the link in the description. And don't forget, if you would like to donate to this show, there's a PayPal link, because in sometime in the future I would like to be able to buy a better camera and build a studio, but to do that I need funds. So if you were interested in seeing me building a more professional show, then a donation would be very much appreciated. But that's it, and this is Euroman signing off, and I'll see you in the next movie review. Bye for now.